The prince who was captured by mermaids. In the heart of Rwanda, a vibrant village surrounded by thick forests and sparkling rivers, there lived a prince named Adik. He was the only son of Chief Zuba, a man known for his unmatched strength and wisdom. Adik, however, wasn't just any prince. He was curious, adventurous, and perhaps a little too bold for his own good. The villagers adored him. He wasn't the type to stay in the palace and feast while others worked. No, Adik was often found in the market, helping elders carry baskets or playing with children in the dusty streets. Despite his princely duties, he made time for everyone. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, the village elders gathered to tell tales by the fire. "Beware of the great Nyoka River," one elder warned, his voice heavy with fear. "The mermaids there are not like the ones in your dreams. Their beauty is a trap. Their song is death." The villagers gasped. Adik, sitting at the edge of the crowd, couldn't help but chuckle. "Do you mean to tell me that a few singing fish can outsmart a prince of Rwanda?" Chief Zuba frowned. "My son, bravery is good, but arrogance is not. Even the strongest lion can be brought down by the smallest snake." Adik's curiosity burned brighter than ever. That night, while the village slept, he made a plan. He would go to the Nyoka River, see these so-called mermaids, and prove to everyone that there was nothing to fear. With his spear in hand and a canoe ready, he set out before dawn, unaware of the adventure awaiting him. The Nyoka River was more beautiful than Adik had imagined. Its waters shimmered under the rising sun, reflecting the green canopy of the surrounding forest. Birds chirped melodiously, and the occasional splash of a fish added to the symphony of nature. As the hours passed, Adik began to wonder if the elders had been wrong. There were no mermaids, no mysterious songs, just a peaceful river. But just as he began to turn back, he heard it, a soft, haunting melody. It was unlike anything he had ever heard before. The sound seemed to wrap around his heart, pulling him closer to its source. Adik paddled toward the melody, his movements almost automatic. The closer he got, the stronger the pull. Suddenly, the water beneath him churned violently. Before he could react, the powerful wave overturned his canoe. Adik splashed into the river, gasping for air. He tried to swim to the surface, but hands, cold and smooth as silk, grabbed him and pulled him under. When he opened his eyes, he was in a dazzling underwater world. Coral towers stretched toward the surface, and glowing fish swam in schools around him. But it was the creatures in front of him that made his heart stop. They were beautiful, with shimmering tails and flowing hair. Their faces were perfect, with their eyes large and bright. These were no ordinary beings. These were mermaids. One of them, taller and more commanding than the rest, swam forward. Her name was Zula, and her gaze was as cold as the river's depths. "You dare enter our waters, human?" she demanded. I mean no harm," Adik stammered, but his words were met with laughter. "Lies," another mermaid, Nola, hissed. "Humans are always dangerous." As the mermaids debated his fate, one of them stayed silent. Her name was Amina, and unlike the others, her eyes held a hint of sadness. Adik found himself tied to a pillar of coral with seaweed as strong as iron. The mermaids had decided to keep him as their prisoner until Zula could decide what to do with him. Days passed, and Adik's hope began to fade. The mermaids brought him food, strange fruits, and slippery fish, but they never spoke to him, except to mock him. All except Amina. She often lingered near him, pretending to be busy with other tasks. One day, she finally spoke. "Why did you come to our river, human?" Adik looked into her curious eyes. "I wanted to see if the stories were true," he said honestly. "I never meant to harm anyone." Amina tilted her head, studying him. He was different from the humans she had heard about. He didn't seem cruel or greedy. Instead, he seemed lonely. Over the next few days, Amina began to bring him extra food and loosen his bindings when the others weren't looking. She even laughed at his jokes, though she quickly pretended to be serious whenever Zula was near. Adik noticed her kindness and began to trust her. "Why are you helping me?" he asked one night. Amina hesitated. "I don't know," she admitted. But something about you feels right. Little did they know, Zula had been watching. Zula was no fool. She had noticed Amina's behavior and was furious. You dare betray your own kind for a human, she thundered, confronting Amina in front of the other mermaids. Amina tried to explain, but Zula would not listen. Humans are dangerous, she snapped. And this one will be no different. But Amina stood her ground. You've already judged him without knowing his heart, she said softly. What if we are wrong? Zula's eyes narrowed. If you care for him so much, you can join him in his fate. That night, Zula ordered the mermaids to prepare for Adik's execution. When Amina heard of Zula's plan, she knew she had to act fast. Under the cover of darkness, she swam to Adik's side and untied him. We must leave now, she whispered. But how? Adik asked. Trust me, she said. As they swam toward the surface, the other mermaids spotted them. Stop them. Zula roared. The chase was fierce. Amina used her tail to propel Adik forward, but the mermaids were closing in. Just as Zula reached for Amina, the school of glowing fish swarmed her, blinding her long enough for Adik and Amina to escape. When they reached the shore, Adik collapsed, gasping for air. Amina lay beside him, her tail shimmering in the moonlight. You're free now, Amina said with a sad smile. And so are you, Adik replied. Come with me to Zwanda. I will protect you. Amina hesitated. She had always dreamed of seeing the human world, but it was a big step. Back in Zwanda, Adik introduced Amina to his people. At first, they were afraid, but when they heard of her bravery, they welcomed her with open arms. The village elders performed a sacred ritual to giving Amina legs so she could live on land. She and Adik were married in a grand celebration, their love a symbol of peace between the two worlds. From that day on, the Nyoka River was no longer feared but celebrated as a place of unity and love. And the story of Adik and Amina was told for generations, reminding everyone that even the deepest divides could be bridged by the power of love.